Aaron, hey, congratulations for the power of movement.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm thankful and just it's I don't know, words can't describe it.
well, well, tell us this. Where did the original idea came from for your documentary, The Power of Movement?
So what happened was my friend Laura, she had introduced me to Dr. Mehta, who was kind of the center of the doc. And what happened was I was doing some like video for him, just like videography and stuff for him, and like put together like these little videos, for the actual is just for his social media type of stuff.
Okay.
And what happened was, as I kept on going to his movement-based classes and filming everything, sometimes we don't take an interest to it. It's just like, oh, we're just there for a job. So, oh, it's just for work. But I started to pay attention. And when I started to pay attention, I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Like, I wanted to do it, but obviously I can't because, I have the camera. So I was like, no, you can't do it. But as I went through and I talked to a lot of the patients and even the people that were not patients, they felt good, and it was just like something hit me, and I sat there and I approached him and I said, I got an idea. I would love to do a documentary about this. This is not like any other documentary because it's more, it's not a sad story. It's not anything that's, where, because if you watch a lot of documentaries, it's more like basis on like crime dramas and sad stories. And so I was like, let's do something empowering. Let's empower the world, and I and he said, hey, let's do it. And we're here today.
So I guess after watching this documentary, Dr. Mehta is a very sociable person. So he wasn't hard to convince at all to do a film, right?
No, he loves being on the camera. He's like, oh man, he loves having fun and joking around and then everything. He got invited. He got it. He was like, man, I actually want to do a movie now. I want to actually do like a narrative. I'm like, hold on. Let's do this first, and then we'll work on the next part. So.
It's funny. It's because you used to do a narrative, right? And now this is your first documentary.
Yes, the first narrative I did was I Before Thee, which is interesting. It's actually about cancer. I'll give you a little rundown about it. My first film was I Before Thee, which is released on Amazon and all the streaming platforms. It's about my sister who had cancer, and thankfully she was healed of it, and she got through it. But it's so funny that when I did that, for this, it was just a total difference. And the good thing about the total difference with this is that by doing this film, it touched my heart a lot more because I've had experience in it. Like I was there, when my sister was going through this stuff. And I wish at that time there was something like this because in my mind, as I remember, I was a child when she was going through stuff like this. So in my mind, it was like, man, I needed something to get me out of it. I needed some type of positivity, just like, oh, well, what can you do? We just got to wait and see. But he makes it all fun.
So what about this process at Dr. Mehta that you think it works? Because I mean, I was watching it and, to me, it almost just seems this is just like another aerobic exercise activity, but it seems to be very receptive by everyone.
Yeah. So what it is the what makes it, that makes it great about it is the fact that it's mindful wellness. Sometimes in life, we all get to a point, when we're having any type of disorder or something. It doesn't have to be specifically a disease, but that positivity around it, and just saying like, look, there is a possibility you can beat this. Your body starts to get functioning, not just aerobically. And again, he tailors everything to different, your I guess your what's the word I'm looking for? Like your fitness level, I guess you could say. Not everyone can do some of the movements, but he tailors it for that, and we worked in retrospect for that, and then to finish up on the question you were saying that what happens is like as a person goes through that process of the illness, there's a depression that comes over them. And what he does, it just helps you get over that. It's not because what it does is it shows that you're not the only person doing that, because most of the times, like when you get into those aspects, sometimes you're alone. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to go, but he uplifts you when he does that stuff. It's funny because I actually had a friend of mine that went through something like that, and he was just sad. He was like, "Oh, I got cancer. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm doing whatever. I'm just gonna throw myself out." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. You don't. You know." And I try to keep, I try to keep him positive and keep him movement, and keep him there. And that's why I said this is really, it really touched me, because I really wanted to do something like this, and that's why I loved being a part of this project.
So it's not only just like a aerobic exercise; it's also sort of like a psychological therapy to basically bring in happiness to their minds, through serotonin and dopamine at the same time, and
Yeah.
together.
Yes, correct. And that's the thing that got me about the whole genre, the whole type of the project, is that even me, like some days I would have been, and I'm not a sad person, but sometimes, we all get a little sad, but I would be a little bit down and stuff. And then I would go and be filming with them, and he would just uplift me like, "Oh man, no, we're going to do this. We're going to do this." I'm like, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And it felt the same way, because as like, after watching the film, you see like a lot of the people that were there. Actually, one of the guys there is a military veteran. I forgot his name. He's one of the military veterans, and it's so crazy. It helped him with like the PTSD stuff and all that, because he it was crazy to see that. Like, I was just surprised. Like, every time I talk to him, and he's an artist now. He actually does art too, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And Dr. Mehta worked wonders with that.
So, what was the doctor's setup? All of this was at his clinic, right?
Yes. It has his clinic in South Miami. So we'd go there like I think it's like every first Saturday of the month, and we'd have everyone come out there, just have a good time. And like I said, they feel energized, and it's just, like I said, it's a therapeutic process. And it's crazy, because the way the world is right now, I know it's a little rough place now. Sometimes we need that therapeutic, feeling inside of us to, make us feel better. It's someone that I see all the time talking a lot of positivity, Gary Vee. And forget the guy's name, forgot his name, but Gary Vee, how he talks, he tells you, listen, just get out there and do it, and make a move, do something, and that's the thing that I love about people, just get out there and do it. It's just it's great to be a part of it.
So when did you actually start this production for your documentary, and how often did you have to go to his sessions?
So I started it, I want to say about 2 years ago. I started doing some stuff with him. And then, so basically like 2 years ago, and then we had to go to all these different, I used to go like every weekend, basically he'd call me up and say, "Hey, we're having a movement session, come through." Like I said, at first I was like, it's just a job. But as I got to know him and, build my relationship with him and the group and everyone, I was like, wow, this is great. Making moves universal is actually fun. It's really fun. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, as I was filming this stuff, I wanted to be like, I really wanted to like put the camera down and say, let me get in there and, do, because it makes it feel so. One thing I've learned in life is like doing something individually is good. It's good. When you do it in a group and it encompasses that, it's so great. It's so great. Just think of it like, this is a bad example, but I'm gonna use it anyways. Like CrossFit. When I used to do CrossFit, everyone's like, "Come on, you can do it. You can do that." And it's like, okay, all right, it might be a little heavy, but I'll still do it. And that's what I love when I saw it, when I was a part of it. Like, it made me want to be a part of it even more. Just keep going and have fun. And every time I left there, I left with a smile. I can tell you that. Left with a smile. May have been hungry, but I left with a smile.
Come on, Aaron, admit it. You tried it once, right?
Yeah, I did. When nobody was looking though. I was like, let me go over to the side. But it was fun. I loved it. I loved the whole, just the whole, making moves universal. Everyone, just everyone that was a part of it. Nadine. I can't remember some of the people's names. So there's so many, and I just love being a part of that, and it just touches my heart. I mean, it even touches my heart, even more now as we're sitting here talking, because recently my father passed away about a month and a half ago, and it's a little deep, but when my dad passed away, it was deep for me, because this film really is what kept me going. Honest to God, as I'm sitting here talking to you, I when someone that's really close to you passes away, you need something to really push you, and this really pushed me. Just the positivity of what Dr. Mehta is doing and everyone else that was a part of this. It really, just keeping me involved, and it really touches my heart just to be here now. You know, sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional, but I apologize.
All right. You also got into the personal life of Dr. Mehta, especially his dance competitions, which I find him that he's extremely talented. Why did you want to go put that also in your documentary?
So I wanted to go that route just to give it a little background, you know, because it's like I figured, you know, he's great. I've seen him a lot of times, you know, work and dance, you know, dance and do choreography and stuff. And I thought to myself, there has to be a backstory, you know, because I thought of it as a director, you know, like when Christopher Nolan or Steven Spielberg or one of those big time guys, like what they do is they look at what they've done before and like, oh, let me see what Spielberg has done before. And I said, man, let me see where you started. And I found out where he started. And I was like, wow, this is good because now when you put it into the aspect of where he started, it gives somewhat of a what's the word I'm looking for? It binds them together because he's not just someone that's just going out there and saying, okay, well, I just move and I make dances, I make up my own stuff. No, he's actually legitimately real. It's not fake. You know, it's not fake news like they say. He really can make some moves.
So does he enjoy the dancing side more or being the doctor more?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. Well, I shouldn't even say I think it is a combination of both. From the times that I've spent with him, he, you know, and the group itself, the Soul Salon group, like Laura is actually the lady that introduced me to him, is actually one of the dancers in there, and it's so cool just to like the experience I had just following them around was so much fun. We went to all these competitions, and most of the competitions were not. It's crazy. Usually, when you go to a competition, there's always a prize. A lot of competitions were not prizes. It was just them showcasing their talent. They were all talented, you know, from Laura to Angelica to Kahini. I was just like amazed. Even there's another lady that was a part of them, Althea, and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. I wanted, you know, I wanted to do it. I want to do it. I was like, let me try. But it's just showcasing their talent was the best. You know, for me, it was very uplifting. And like I said, I wanted to do it. I don't really dance that well, so.
So they do this because it's the enjoyment of their lives. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
I heard your last question was it's because of the enjoyment. Yes, they do it for the enjoyment. And you know, like one thing I learned about the actual dancing community or choreography community is that it's a passion. You know, it's like us in film. If you don't have a passion for it, then you're just doing it. You know, they do it, and I love the fact that he can encompass it into his practice is great. Like I wish I could do something where I could have the filming that I do encompass into the something like that. I mean, I would love to do that because for me, I love giving back. I love helping as much people as I can because I believe that the world needs that. It needs help. It needs everyone to, you know, just help each other, man. I want to help you. Anytime you need help, just give me a call. I'm coming down there.
I think the most surprising part of the documentary is when he actually turned the interview around and asked you a question. I mean, how did you react to that, and why did you go ahead and included that into the documentary?
Man, that's actually good. That's actually good. So he had told me about that and said like we should do something where I want you to, you know, kind of like, and this was kind of like at the end of not at the end, but like between the end and the middle of the film. Or filming, and I was like, yeah, okay, you know, I'll put me under the light. I'll put it out there. And when he did that for me, what it did for me is it helped me. It helped me get over a lot of my fears, a lot of my things that were, you know, constantly bugging me mentally. You know, like as a filmmaker, sometimes you don't showcase what you showcase your strengths, but you don't showcase your weaknesses. And at that time, I was going through a little bit of a weakness because my first film had just released and they were beating me up. I still get beat up today about my first film. Like, it's my first film, but they were beating me up and, you know, the reviews. And I'm like, oh boy, you know, like you guys got to understand. But it really helped me because I was really such a more of a passive person. Like I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But he taught me to be stronger. Just that whole experience of making the power of movement, seeing the patients that I interviewed and talking to them just on a personal level. Like even I had a strong personal relationship with Nadine in there, and just she would text me back and forth. We'd always talk about all this, and it made me strong. It made me want to, because you know, as a filmmaker, sometimes there's times where you want to quit. Literally, like I want to get rid of this. I'm done, finished. But you know, that whole what we talked about there really empowered me and made me want to finish.
So now you got your first narrative film out of the way. You got your first documentary out of the way. What's next for you? Does this inspire you to keep on going?
Of course. Oh man, of course. So I actually, it's funny. As a filmmaker, director, writer, producer, all the stuff. I actually wrote a couple of TV pilots that I'm trying to get trying to get funding for right now to put it out there. I actually started doing a social media documentary that I have to kind of revamp a little bit, because I saw there was something on Netflix came out. I was like,
Dilemma.
was that social? Yes, Social Dilemma. And I was like, all right, these guys have been listening to my phone calls because I think this is I actually started filming about 60% of it. We're actually 60% of it done. And then I actually picked up recently another documentary that one of my friends that I met said he has a great story, and I want to, I just want to put things out there. I would love to be the next Steven Spielberg or Christopher Nolan, or, I just want to be out there. This is what I love to do. I got my master's in business administration and international business, and I'm doing film. And I was like, I like this better.
It's always funny that sometimes we go to college and we all end up not doing what we got our degrees in.
True story. True. That is true. I still get beat up for it these days. They're like, you have an MBA, you should be working in a big finance company and all this. And I'm like, yeah, but I like this better.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I also have an MBA, and I'm talking to you. So
beautiful. See, we're together. We're brothers. We're brothers now. We're connected through the Zoom MBA.
That's right. Well, you know what, Aaron? This has been great. I really appreciate the story you're telling me, especially the fact that all of this is very therapeutic for you, and I think it will inspire thousands of people who watch this. But before I let you go, one last question.
Gotcha.
When people actually watch your documentary, what's the one most important lesson you hope they learn?
Just to live. Live life, enjoy the time that we're given, because one day we're here, one day we're not. Enjoy everything, hug one another, say thank you, say I love you, say, all those little PDAs, just enjoy life, live for today, just enjoy it, enjoy life. That's what it is.
I think that's great, and I know you're living, so that's terrific too. Thank you very much, Aaron. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye now.